Hello, everyone. Welcome to Universal English Guide, where learning English is simple, clear, and enjoyable. I'm Sophie.
And I'm Liam. Hello, everyone. We're really happy to have you here today.
It feels nice to sit down and talk again, doesn't it? I was thinking this morning about how calm the day felt. The street was quiet, the mail arrived early, and I finally had time to read a little.
Same here. I made some tea, looked outside, and watched people walking their dogs. Those small moments always make me feel ready to talk and think clearly.
Exactly. And today, we're talking about something people often feel unsure about in English: general politics. Not arguing, not debating, just talking about it in a simple, everyday way, especially when someone wants to study it or remember something that happened before.
Yes, many learners tell us, I want to talk about politics, but I don't know how to explain what I studied or what happened. So today, we'll keep it gentle and practical.
We'll talk like neighbors or classmates. Imagine you're waiting for an elevator or sitting in a library, and someone asks what you studied or what you saw in the news.
Right, no pressure, just clear English and real conversation.
So, Liam, do you remember when you first decided to study politics?
I do. A few years ago, I started reading about how local governments worked. At that time, I felt curious because I wanted to understand decisions in my city.
I remember that period. You were reading articles every evening.
Yes, I was. I was sitting at my desk and I was taking notes while the news played quietly in the background.
That's a perfect example already. You described one action that happened over time and another moment that fit inside it. That's very common when we talk about studying politics or watching events.
Exactly. And learners often mix these ideas. They say something like, I studied when the news played, but it feels incomplete.
Let's slow it down naturally. Imagine I ask you, what were you doing when the election results came out?
I might say, I was cooking dinner when the results came out.
That sounds clear and natural. One action was continuing, and another action happened at a specific moment.
Yes, and we use this kind of language a lot when we talk about past political events. For example, people were waiting for information when the announcement happened.
I remember that night. People were talking quietly, and some neighbors were standing outside, checking their phones.
They were feeling nervous, I think.
They were. And later, someone knocked on my door and asked if I heard the news.
Moments like that are easy to describe when you choose the right past form naturally.
Let's share a small story. Last year, I joined a community class about government basics.
Oh yes, you told me about that.
The teacher explained how laws were made. While she was explaining, I was writing examples in my notebook.
And then something funny happened, right?
Yes, while everyone was listening carefully, someone's phone rang loudly. We all laughed, and the teacher stopped for a moment.
That's such a real classroom moment. And again, you're showing two actions clearly without sounding like a grammar book.
That's the goal. We don't want rules on a board. We want stories that feel normal.
Learners often ask, can I talk about politics without sounding too serious? And the answer is yes. You can say simple things like, I watched a debate last night, or I studied the history of voting.
Exactly. And when something happened during another activity, you can say, I was watching the debate when my friend called.
Let's pause gently here and explain this idea clearly but simply. When we talk about the past, sometimes we focus on a finished action. For example, I studied politics last year. That action is complete.
And sometimes we focus on an action that was continuing at a certain time. For example, I was studying politics when the teacher asked a question.
We don't need complicated terms. Just remember, one action was moving and another action happened inside it.
And both are very useful when talking about political events, classes, news, or discussions from the past.
Okay, let's continue naturally. Sophie, do you remember a time when the news surprised you?
Yes, I was drinking coffee when a major announcement came on TV. I stopped drinking and listened carefully.
Those moments stick in our memory, and they're easy to describe with clear past language.
Another common learner mistake is mixing time words. They say, yesterday I am watching the news.
We can gently adjust that to yesterday I was watching the news or yesterday I watched the news, depending on the meaning.
And you don't need to explain grammar when you speak. Just think about the picture in your mind.
Was the action moving or was it finished?
That question helps a lot.
Let's talk about studying politics as a subject. Some people study it formally.
Yes, they attend classes, read textbooks, and write notes.
Some study it casually. They watch programs, read articles, and talk with friends.
Both are valid, and both can be described simply. I studied government systems. I was learning about elections when I lived abroad.
I like that example. It shows time and experience clearly.
Do you remember when you stopped studying that topic?
Yes, I stopped after the course ended. I felt satisfied with what I learned.
And while you were studying, did you feel confused sometimes?
Of course, I was feeling confused when new terms appeared, but I kept reading.
That honesty is helpful for learners. It's okay to feel unsure.
Absolutely. Language learning and topic learning are both journeys.
As we come toward the end, let's remind everyone, talking about general politics doesn't mean debating.
It means sharing experiences from the past, what you studied, what you watched, what happened while you were doing something else.
Use simple sentences. Use real memories.
And don't worry about being perfect. Clear meaning is more important.
We hope this conversation helped you feel more comfortable.
If you enjoyed this lesson, please like the video.
Subscribe to Universal English Guide for more calm, friendly English practice.
Leave a comment in English and tell us what you studied or watched.
And share this lesson with a friend who wants to practice English naturally.
Thanks for spending time with us today.
We'll see you next time. Keep learning, keep practicing, and be kind to yourself.